In the tapestry of life, where every thread holds a story, America in Black and White emerges as a haven for the voices echoing through the heart of our communities. In this podcast, we wade through the rivers of our collective experiences, celebrating the vibrant hues of change brought forth by the whispers of hope and the roars of action. It's more than just a conversation. It's a journey into the heart of our society, illuminated by the light of those daring to dream and do. Join us, and let your voice be the melody that guides us toward a dawn where every color finds its place in the masterpiece of our shared destiny. Together, let's paint a future brimming with the positives that dwell in our minds and the actions that shape our world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of America in Black and White. I'm your host, Charles King. Tonight on America in Black and White, we step into a conversation that sits at the crossroads of innovation, empowerment, and economic liberation. We're living in a moment where technology is no longer just a tool, it's a gateway. A gateway to ownership, to access, to community-driven wealth, and to rewriting the rules of how value moves in our society. For generations, Black communities have been locked out of systems that determine who gets funded, who gets heard, and who gets to build. But ever so often, a visionary emerges, someone who doesn't just critique the system, but designs a new one. Someone who doesn't wait for permission, but builds the infrastructure for others to rise. Tonight, we welcome such a visionary. Frank Newman, known to many as Frank Nitty, is not simply an entrepreneur. He is an architect of possibility, a strategist who seeks blockchain not as a buzzword, but as a blueprint. A builder who understands that the future of economic power lies in decentralization, tokenization, and community-owned ecosystems. From Productive Sphere LLC to the Bitcoin Music Exchange, from the Yellow Door Real Estate Exchange to Blockmark, Frank is engineering a new economic reality, one where everyday people can participate, invest, and prosper. And beyond the technology, he is a storyteller, a cultural curator, the creator of Blue Check, a platform dedicated to honoring the overlooked, the almost there, the second place finishers who shaped culture without ever receiving their flowers. Tonight we explore his journey, his mission, and the blueprint he is building for generations to come. Let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Mr. Frank Noonan to the show. Hello, Frank. Mr. Noonan, are you there? Mr. Noonan, are you there? Mr. Noonan, are you here? Just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we've got some. Mr. Noonan. Mr. Noonan. Yes, I can see you and hear you. Your other platform is still sitting there as well. Yes, sir. I can I can hear you and I can see you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right, there we you see me?
Okay. Do you want to yes, sir. Do you want to log out of your other platform?
Can you see me?
Yes, sir. I can see you.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
There we
Can
go.
you
Can
hear
we
me? Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yes, sir. Can
I, all right.
Okay. So, welcome to the show.
There we go. Okay. I apologize to pull out both the laptops.
Welcome to the show.
I can't hear you. There we go.
I said, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. Greetings.
So, is there anything you'd like to say to the audience before we get into the show?
I'm trying to um yes, it's
Okay, you were frozen. You were frozen for a while. Then you just unfrozen. No.
and I'm this connection is choppy. I'm trying to make sure.
Can you hear me? What in the world is going on here? Can you hear me?
Me? Oh wow. Oh wow.
Okay, now I hear and see you loud and clear.
All right. Listen, everything good right now?
Yes, sir. I mean, everything is crystal clear.
All right. I apologize. I was having issues with my cameras. I don't know. That's something I have to fix inside my. I have two laptops here, and I was trying to log in from both while I was streaming live on my Facebook from this phone. So I apologize for everybody that was tuning in and was watching the technical difficulty. I appreciate the intro. I appreciate you bringing me on the show. And I love what you guys are doing and everything about community and helping the community build and giving them the pertinent information to be able to understand how to move forward in today's society, especially on the financial landscape. So let's get to it, man.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. Yes, sir. So as we get into it, first, what I would like to do is I'm going to start the interview off where I call this part, your life story and your origin, where people get to know who Frank was before you got to be who you are today.
Okay.
And can you tell us who was Frank Newman before the world knew you as Frank Nitty?
Oh, well, I was a little boy who grew up in the worst project in Harlem in the 1980s, in the worst building in the worst projects in Harlem in 1980s. Um, but I had a mother who was very determined for me to not follow the same footsteps of the environment that I was brought up in and the examples that was directly in my household. So she was determined to make sure I wouldn't fall into the streets. I was a kid who was always above average in math, reading, English, academics, period. But in my area, it wasn't cool to be smart, and especially where I grew up, it wasn't cool to be smart. It wasn't cool to, try to do the right things. So me, like most young men in that time, in that era, I chose a life that is not really a happy ending for most. It's either jail or death or jail. So that's who I was before that. And then, I wanted to be a rapper, but I also, as being a rapper, I felt like because of my street experience and my history, I would be a successful rapper. And I really didn't have too many other plans. I didn't understand money. I didn't understand finance. I just wanted to be successful so I can have a chance to be able to help those in need, and starting with my mother and my family first. So,
So, what early experiences shaped your mindset as a builder and innovator?
so when I was around 18 years old, I met Jason Ingram. All right. This brother, aka Justice Universal Allah, 5% of nation, things of that nature. And he told me, first thing he said to me was, because he was always trying to talk to me about religion and community building. And I really didn't understand any of that stuff, or nor did I really care, because I didn't, you only know what you know. And this man, Jason Ingram, introduced me to a different way of thinking, introduced me to different books and different philosophers, and just told me that, listen, you're a leader, bro. And what you talking about, everybody's tuned in listening to you, but you're not talking about shit. Excuse my language. And that's what he told me. He
Mhm.
said, you wasn't talking. He said, you're not talking about nothing. You need to be able to use that power that you have and talk about something, lead the people to something, do something with the God, what God blessed you with. And obviously at that time at 18, that meant a lot to me, but I still couldn't understand it all at that moment in that time. It took me some years to get to this point. So what shaped me was basically just going out on a journey and a mission to create, you know, economic ecosystems for with the communities in which I come from, understanding actually what finance is and what not just finance but wealth of businesses and how we can work together cooperatively. And that came from Jason Ingram. And diving into the 5% nation, learning 120 my 120 lessons. And a lot of people used to laugh at brothers who would say peace God and peace brother and peace that. So obviously I wanted to learn more, and I evolved. I wanted to learn beyond my first school of thought, which was the 5% nation.
So, when did you first realize you were wired for entrepreneurship?
I knew that for a long time, because I would open multiple studios or hubs for creators and innovators and things of that nature. And I was always building what I couldn't understand what I was doing at the time. That's just what I was just doing. But I started building ecosystems to where everybody can plug in and cooperatively we can all generate funds together. So,
Mhm.
and after failing and failing over and over again, because I had to take the time to learn business and I had to take the time to learn how to manage people and learn how to operate in a space that most people from where I come from never get to. And that was the corporate world. So, and once I got there, I realized we suffer in our community from the lack of important information. We get the basic information. So my mother was that drive for me. She taught me how to be an
Wow.
entrepreneur. She taught me how to think ahead. She taught me how to think differently. She taught me how to go out and generate something and she taught me how to go out and be add something to the world. That's the reason why the company is called Productive House. Go be productive. Be productive. That was her word. Be productive. So between my mother, Jason Ingram, and then my own life experiences of just trying to create space where I can help people. And then you can join John Moot Gibbons. I'm sorry, we can join John Moot Gibbons as well. That's one of the men behind Wu-Tang Clan. If y'all don't know who that is, I've been a part of the Wu-Tang Clan family for many years, um, as well as other brands and companies that I helped build. And just basically to answer your question in a whole, throughout my life, people have placed this leadership role upon me. People have come to me for different answers that I didn't know that I had, and I wound up having.
So, what was the first business you ever created, even as a kid?
The first business,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we would call it a business, but I would say it was a basket. I wanted to play basketball really bad. I was a bad kid though, and my mother always kept me on punishment. So I had missed trying out for this basketball league to be able to be on a team within the league. And being that I did, I wound up starting my own team. I was probably about 10 years old. And by starting my own team, uh, me and my friend Freddie, Kevin, and we started our own team. And we went to go get our t-shirts, with your team jerseys, and the guy that was
Right.
in the team jerseys, he was like, "Man, he asked us, why y'all doing this yourself? Where's your coach? Where's your sponsors?" And we was like, "We don't have none." And he was like, I was like, "Won't you help?" And this was on 125th Street, this guy, and he was like, he'll help. So he did our shirts for free, and he became our coach. And that was one of the first. And once I was able to just accomplish that or succeed in that, I always felt like whatever I put my mind to, I can do it. You know, so that was the first.
So so with that early life experience, and just looking at how you guys actually built that team, is this where you first started? When you first got the understanding of what it is to be a part of a team or to build a team that got you to this point now?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's been my goal and mission ever since. It's about building team building, community building, which is why we're on this show. Which is why I love and I appreciate this show because that's all it's ever been for me. I was the only child, right? So having brothers and sisters and stuff like that, you want that as an only child. So, you know, um, I could never build things, small things. So after that, I've never built anything or created anything that was small. It always involved a group of people. So my vision and my idea always had to involve other people, and if the other people are not there, ultimately it doesn't work. So that some people to tell me I thought too big or you think too big, and I'm here to tell people you're never thinking too big. You just got to get around the right people.
So who poured belief into you at a young age?
My mother, Jean
So
Jean Cully. Yes.
how did that go? Because I think when especially when you're young adolescent, especially a young adolescent male, if there's nobody guiding you and giving you some of that encouragement and putting those things into you, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to even think to get to where you want to get. So with your mother pouring this into you, What were some of the things that you learned from her going forward that's made you the success that you are today?
Never give up, never quit. Without giving you a long-winded answer, that's what she taught me: to never give up, never quit, move with confidence, believe in yourself, speak your mind,
Mhm.
and I stood by those principles.
So, what challenges did you face growing up that later fueled your mission?
Challenges that I faced growing up, huh? That's a good question. There's a lot of them. You know, let's generalize it a little bit, right? And what aspect would you be speaking? Because and I can give you an answer and it's going to be long, but if that's what we're here for, that's what we're here for. So, okay, challenges growing up, Re- financial resources, right?
Mhm.
Finances first and foremost, and other challenges was, knowing, how can I, knowing what I'm into, having all of the knowledge of what I want to do, so I can make
Mhm.
the best decisions in it. And that was
Mhm.
the challenge, not having the knowledge, of somebody who's that I knew for many years. The name Pharrell Williams. The whole world probably knows Pharrell Williams. He's an icon, and he told me one day we're on the phone. He's trying to get me to come to the studio to do music, and because I wanted to, and I asked him to when we had seen each other. So when we exchanged number, he's like, "Look, all right, Nitty, come through." And I kept bullshitting, and I kept having reasons why I couldn't come. And he just got fed up with me and said, "You know what, Nitty? Won't you just get the book on everything you need to know about the music industry?" And I'm like, what? At that age, I'm like, get the book on everything I need to. Like, no, get me a record deal. Get me a studio. Like, that's not helping me. And that was funny because now I would tell somebody the same thing. Like, but at that time I was mad with him. Like, man, how did he think he all that now? He think he better than everybody. He gonna tell me get the book on. So shout out to Pharrell Williams.
Look, the one thing that you started out to preface your answer is, I think for a lot of us that have come from underserved and marginalized communities, that finance is one of the things that we always have an issue with. But the key component to that is you mentioned the knowledge. When did you understand that the knowledge to go along with the finance was so important to make your dream work?
So I got approached by um, some world leaders. It was started with a sheik of the Temple 14, which is a Moorish Science Temple of America. There was a sheik called Kinnick L, and he started bringing me to forums to like speak my opinion and my voice and be a voice for my communities. And once I started going there, I was invited to more and council meetings and things of that nature. I started meeting all these different people. And long story short, these group of people came and they funded me to help with my mission, which was ghetto government, uh, which, we'll talk about that in a second. So he came to me and said, "Well, we want to help you with your mission. We watch your videos online. We, people constantly have spoken about you in a good way, in a good manner, and we feel like you're someone that should be a world leader. We feel like you're someone that we can invest in that will actually help his community." So I got funded, all right. And when they funded me with a bunch of crypto assets, Bitcoin assets. And first thing, obviously, when I see the amount that came in, I wanted to spend it. Like, and I'm not, I wasn't gonna spend it on like dumb things. I wanted to actually do what they tasked me to do. And that was like, help build communities with this and change lives. But I couldn't no, I didn't know how to spend it because I was used to the US dollar. I was used to USD and I knew how to earn money. I knew how to hustle and make money. I never understood what money is, and 95% of us don't even understand what money is. So once I spend days of trying to figure out how to spend the money, my girlfriend at the time, she calls Dr. Miami. Y'all know who Dr. Miami is, the surgeon who does the
Yeah.
BBL. So she calls Dr. Miami because she's like, we're rich, and she wants her boobs done. She calls Dr. Miami and my one of my best friend who was a female, she wanted her butt done. So they collectively called Dr. Miami and say, "Hey, we have Bitcoin assets and we want to get this surgery. And they was like, well, we're not ready to accept that yet. Maybe in the next year, a couple of years or so down the line. All right. So once they did that, they was able to confirm, oh wow, this is real money. We looked on the IRS website and it said, oh wow, all digital currency is lawful money. All right. So when we started going on that journey of trying to figure out how to spend Bitcoin assets, cryptocurrency, that's where I started getting the pertinent information, learning what assets is, what a trust is, learning how to utilize a trust, learning the difference of assets, learning the difference between private and public. So it all came from trying to understand what I had to help the people and build a community.
So look, there's a comment here in the chat. I'll put it on the screen for you.
Okay.
It's from Taya Gaillard. She says, it says, I need a good faith starter investment.
A good faith starter investment.
Yeah. And her second comment is, she says to send her some, I guess some of the Bitcoin.
Well, so what you would first of all contact me. We'll have a way for you to contact me, and we could begin to talk about any type of funding. I'm pretty sure we'll probably get into that at some point of what my company does and what I actually do. So, thank you, Tanya, for even watching and tuning in, and we'll have a conversation about that.
So, how did your environment influence your desire to build systems, not just businesses?
I was, like I said, where I grew up at, growing up where I come from, Polo Ground Projects in the 1980s, the middle of the crack epidemic, in the worst building, we call it Vietnam. I realized these people actually never, once I was able, my mother married someone and brought me to Virginia. And when she brought me to Virginia and I started to experience life other than what I was used to, I started getting sad. Literally at like 14 years old, I remember crying because I was like, my friends might not ever have this chance and this opportunity. As I'm driving down the road looking at green trees or grass, I'm in my front yard, my backyard, and I thought about all my friends that would never make it or don't have an opportunity to see it and share what I am able to share and what I'm able to see thanks to my mother and my stepfather at that time. So I looked at the American structure. Right? We know America is two Americas. You have the American Republic and we have the United States American Corporation. And when I look at the American Corporation, I look at the financial structure and how it's set up. And if people really wanted to know how it's set up, if I told you that the government is right above the people on the totem pole of power and wealth. It's the government is right above us, but below corporations. So you have world banks who fund smaller banks funds corporations, corporations funds the government to give the monopoly on force over the people. So I just followed the traditional blueprint. And once I realized and learned that Bitcoin was the foundation of the monetary and banking system, I realized all industries was open. It's a blank canvas. It's time for creators, entrepreneurs, developers to start painting pictures now because it's wide open. And that was the whole purpose of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin blockchain. It was to give the wealth back to the hands of the people. But people are losing right now. We'll talk about that though.
Yeah, so Ms. Gaylord got two other comments that she just put in here. The first one on the screen there is reach one, teach one. And then she says, wish it. I'm sorry. It says she's from the projects of Alabama.
Respect.
And then this one is from Mr. Neely. He says, "What a blessing! Continue the excellence." That's
Thank
Dr.
you.
Neely.
Thank you, Dr. Neely. God bless. I appreciate you.
And Ms. Gallia says she have three failed businesses, and I'm indigenous to the continent.
Islam.
So, so what was the moment you decided that you were going to create your own lane?
Well, I was tired of I was tired of trying to get into arenas. And what I mean by that, many years of being an artist, I went from being an artist to a record executive. And in that space, you're always trying to, break an artist. Like, hopefully they make it. There's no guarantees in the music industry, right? So, but it's an arena that's already created and already been in place. All right, we already know what the music business is, but it's not controlled by anybody that looks like me or you, right? It's not controlled by anybody that we would actually know. The people that we actually see on the television screens and in the music videos, they have the least amount of power. So once I realized that I'm in competition with too many people trying to get into an arena that's already built. So if we build our own arenas, we don't have to fight trying to get in one. So that's the. So I tell people, build your own arena. Stop trying to get into them, or join a group, right, and build an arena. So that's where it's at for me. Like I don't want to fight no more for space and and any type of arena. So you got to think outside the box, and that's really what it was for me. Just thinking outside the box, because I'm 50 years old now, and I spent most of my adult life in competition, trying to be the best, right? And I still want to be the best, but I want to be the best at creating new spaces for myself, the ones I love, and the communities in which I come from.
So, how did your family respond to your unconventional path?
Um, some said I was crazy. Um, they told me I was crazy. They told me I didn't know what I was talking about when it came to money. They said, how can you tell us when I still pay my rent with USD? How could you tell me that when, I still need USD to go to the grocery store, and I still need USD to go to Walmart, and I still need my USD to pay my landlord, yada, yada, yada. They was like, we don't want to hear nothing about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, none of that, because it doesn't make sense to nobody. They kept telling me, it's not real money. It sounds like a scam. It doesn't sound right, doesn't make sense. And that's when, remember, that goes back to the lack of information, right? Remember, and I'm like, before I understood it, I had to get the information to be able to believe it and to know it. And so I realized when I'm telling my friends and family, you don't expect them to go against you right away when you're coming with the excitement of, listen, I can change all of our lives right now. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. I'm like, listen, you guys help me put the system together. We can change not only our lives, but those around us immediately. So the initial response was, we're not with it. It sounds like a scam. We think you're crazy. We don't believe in blockchain or cryptocurrency. It's just a trend.
Um, what personal values guide your work today?
My personal values. I don't. My personal values. One thing I stand on is that everything happens for a reason, so I don't worry. I also don't worry because I don't worry as also as well. That's another value I stand on, to not worry. To worry is to have no faith, and to have no faith means to have no hope, and to have no hope means you don't believe in the Most High. So I believe that there is a reason for everything that happens, good or bad. I also know that if you're going to do something, don't walk the fence. Don't go. You can't be walk. You can't. You got to either go all the way to the right or all the way to the left. That's the only way you are successful. You have to commit 1,000%, no matter what it is. Once you make that decision, you have to commit wholeheartedly. So if those are values, because I never knew how to actually answer that question. But if those are values, that's what I stand on. Like, never, I never worry, and that's one of the hardest things in the world. And I commit 100%. Like,
Let me ask you this, because what's interesting about that is just so we can get that clarity again about the Bitcoin situation.
yes.
Do you have to pick a side, or can you just do what you do and create?
Do I have to pick a side?
Well, no, when you say you either have to go to the left or to the
Oh,
right,
right.
do you have to pick a side, or can you just do what you do and create?
Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, anybody. The commitment is what you're doing. All
Right.
right. Don't go halfway, or don't do it and be like, ah, but I don't want to. You know,
Right.
the best example, and this is probably the worst example, but the best example I can give is Pablo Escobar. Um, let's name some others. What's the other guy? You just name some. Let's some kingpins, serial killers, serial rapists. All of these guys, they are actually successful in their goals. Why? Because they
Mhm.
committed 100% to it. They didn't care about the outcome at the end because in their mind, they 100% believe that what they were doing was right to them and it was justifiable to them. So they had no fear, which means they had no worry. To accomplish that and be successful, you had to go all the way to the right or all the way to the left. So no matter what you create or what you decide on in life, you have to commit. You can't give it 5%, 2%, 7%, 70%. You have to give 100% or you will not be successful.
Now, so I got the we're flooding here with comments here. Dr. Neely responded to your response to his and says yes, sir. Miss Gilliard, she goes intellectual property and continuous income. Then she says create a community that pays profits. So I guess through their platform support and use that revenue to reinvest and earn cryptocurrency. Then we have a comment here from Pam Kelly, that says yes, never give up, never worry. Then Miss Galliard is back again. She says all or nothing. And she says scared money don't make no
Make no
money.
money. Absolutely.
So
Yes.
So let's transition over to your entrepreneurship and Productive Fear LLC.
Yes.
Um, so can you tell us what inspired the creation of Productive Fear LLC?
Um, the what expired and inspired it was, like I said, when I first got. I'm trying to pull something up as well. When I first started in this space of creating cooperative economic ecosystems, it was I needed cooperation from other businesses, other entrepreneurs to work with me. All right, because the key to for people who like, hey, I got a great network. Well, let me tell you something. Blockchain technology is will take networks to nations. You can build a nation on blockchain technology with just your network. So how that works is I'm able to put your business on the blockchain, right? Tokenize your business, make it divisible to where anybody from anywhere can buy fractional shares of your business on the global exchange. All right. And as productive spirit, we're the ones that's going to tokenize that business, for tokenize your business, place you on the blockchain, fund your business with the Bitcoin assets to start accepting payments and currency because you have to move the currency around for the currency to have value for you to be able to utilize it. And the traditional forms of finance, like credit lines, things of that nature. And I'm gonna give a couple of examples. And we spoke about this before we even got on the call. Um, so what inspired it was needing businesses and to work with because at first I wasn't thinking about me building a business to do it. It was just about myself. Like, hey, I can do this for you. And then I said, you know what? I have to build a business model. And then when people wasn't working with me fast enough or didn't believe or didn't want to hear it and couldn't understand it, I started building different businesses and created my own ecosystem. So
Mhm.
that's what inspired it. Uh, the real inspiration was a Tom Ford. I got on a call with Tom Ford, not Tom Ford. Tom Ford, through a good friend of mine, Cassandra Reynolds, Cassandra Hall, she changed her name, I'm sorry. So Cassandra Hall, she got me on the phone call with Tom Ford. Tom Ford said, yes, you know, because of the connection, he's willing to help me in any way possible. So I sent him over a link of my wallet and what I wanted to do with the assets. And he looked at it, he said, you got a lot of assets there. He said, the only thing that I need to see from you guys is activity. He said, I don't see enough activity. You have a shit ton of money that we can verify and see that it's there, but it's not moving. So he said, if you want me to, he's a leading in crypto development in the early stages, as far as not development, but housing development. So he was building
Mhm.
houses and communities utilizing cryptocurrency. So that was the reason for the call. And he told me that I needed activity. So in order to create activity, the assets have to move. All right. It has to sit behind the business. The business have to accept payments. So that was what ultimately like really inspired productive sphere. So it's the nervous system in my Bitcoin block. It's the nervous system of my blockchain network, of my hybrid blockchain network.
Okay. Oh, wow. I like that when you say hybrid. So when you say, well, can you explain to us when you're talking about a hybrid Bitcoin network? How many different links does that have? Because being a hybrid means it can do multiple things.
Correct. So you're going to either be a part of a public blockchain network, a private blockchain network, uh, a federated blockchain network, or a consortium blockchain network, or a hybrid blockchain network. And a hybrid blockchain network connects private and public, which in the past, private and public, and when it comes to finance, was not able to hold hands ever in the past. But because
Mhm.
of technology, of Bitcoin, of blockchain technology, we're able to combine private and public. And a lot of people don't know how to do that or won't know how to do that. So I'm here to educate people on how to do that, teaching the difference between public and private. A lot of people are lost when it comes to business and on a lot of things in life when it comes to the world because they don't understand private and public.
So, how would you describe the mission of productive fear in one sentence?
Cooperative economics.
Okay, that's the so again, so we can make sure that people understand that. Can you explain cooperative economics and what does that mean?
All right. So cooperative economics, fractional ownership, shared credit. But let's just stick to the fractional ownership thing. Okay. Um, Fractional ownership. I went and I got to tell a story on it. This is my best way to explain everything, right? So I go to Vegas in 2018 to broker a marijuana uh, deal with Rick Ross and a company called Kingmakers, and I was connected to a guy named Slab who does Rick Ross's like social media and stuff like that, right? So doing I go to Vegas, I sit in this meeting, I'm at the Bellagio. I am the least important person there. I am the least wealthiest person there. I am a nobody for real, you know. And I know that I'm somebody, but amongst this circle, I am a nobody. And I asked these guys, I wonder who owns this business. I wonder who owns the Bellagio. And they started laughing at me. And they told me it was over hundreds of people who owned the Bellagio. And I was like, how can 100 people own this and still be wealthy or have money? I never heard of that. I've never heard of that before. I only heard about, hey, go get a business, start an LLC, get a corporation, get a trust, get a like you always heard people tell you go get an LLC, be own your own business, but they don't tell you what owning your own business really entails. So when I learned about, so I wanted to study why would 100 people own one business, and I realized, oh, fractional ownership, funding, shared credit, because now we have hundreds of people saying they are responsible for this business. We can go get millions of dollars. Oh, there's fractional ownership. Okay, that means that I can. We don't. The responsibility of putting money in on a business that's going to generate money doesn't all fall on me. So cooperative economics was about everybody working together for a common goal to help generate money and keeping the money within that ecosystem, right? Within the community. If you go to a Jewish community, the dollar stays in their community for months, right? The Chinese, it stays in for days. In the black community, it's gone within an hour. So that's cooperative economics changes that because now everyone within our ecosystem now is operating and dealing with each other. I'm coming to you for services. All right. If I wanted to do a podcast after coming off of your show, I wouldn't do a podcast that does what your show goes for. I'm pushing and promoting your podcast because I'm a part of your ecosystem. Why would I go start a podcast that's going to do the same thing that you do? I have to have a different angle, right? I have to have something different.
That's smart.
Right. So build something that's already there.
Right.
And then in these systems that I built, I used a system called Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. What Standing on the Shoulders of Giants is, all right, why would I build a business operating system, right? When Google already gives you a business operating system. It's called Google Workspace. So I'm able to run my business off of Google Workspace because that's standing on the shoulders of giants. So now I'm going to integrate that with blockchain, right? Because if I'm utilizing blockchain technology, now all I have to do is connect that to that system. I didn't build the blockchain, right? So it's all about connecting things that already exist. And if we're in the same hybrid blockchain network, the reason why ours is a hybrid blockchain network because I have private assets. I have millions in private assets that I want to bring to the public. And in order to bring it to the public, I need public businesses that are legit businesses that pays taxes. You understand? So I'm in the business of pushing your business to another business that needs your business and vice versa. So that's what I do. And that's what cooperative economics is. It's making sure everybody get a piece of the dollar and we're all invested in each other's business.
Right. Oh wow. So I got some more comments here in the chat, and besides, if you want to, you can respond to these.
Okay.
Dr. Neely just says, please continue sharing knowledge. I appreciate you. Um,
Thank you.
Taya Gaillard says that she's ready. Taya also says most overseas jobs pay U.S. employees their personal coin network. Then she says, borrow system, like-minded interests. Rick Ross has no one claiming his Amazon Music account. Find problems, present solutions.
I
Then she's
Tyler Gillard, I love her comments. The buying soul food from Asia took me
and she says authorize users. And she said, here's the last one. Yeah, she's saying buying soul food from Asians. I'm not going to even go down that street because I actually asked that question last year on one of my shows because it didn't make sense to me.
right.
Also, this is Jane 330. It says only people that listened and understood took your information and tried to run with it without you. Not overstanding what you have is for all. There is no such thing as a lack of resources.
Yes.
What do you say to that?
Man, so that is Jay Ing. And remember Jason Ingram. Remember we spoke about him.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So Jason Ingram, man, he like I said, he's not only did he inspire me and teach me, but when I got on this journey, he was right there with me. He got to like every step of the way, being the big brother he's always been. He was there every step of the way. He wanted to make sure that we wasn't doing anything that was fraudulent. He wanted to make sure that I wasn't being used. He wanted to make sure that I was teaching the right things and learning the right things. So he has helped me tremendously to even be at this space that I'm at. And what he is talking about is once I got on the roll, I would have Zoom calls of about 20 to 100 people sometime, at least 4 times a week, twice a day. And those people would listen and take all of the information and then run off and try to do it on their own. Like they didn't say, here, let's work together. They didn't really take heed to what I was saying. They took heed, but went away from me, not
The
realizing
wrong way.
the wrong way, not realize I'm teaching you because I want you to be a part of this with me and I can fund you. Instead, they went that way and this way, and they, and they ran into brick roads. They ran into walls because they like, oh, I don't know what to do now. Then only now everybody's coming back now like, hey, Frank, hey, Nitty, What was you saying again? Listen, can we work now? And now I'm too busy. like,
Right.
now I'm too busy to be able to just freely. That's when I was giving away assets for free. I was doing everything for free. I was teaching for free. I was committed to these meetings and these calls for free. Nobody gave me a dollar. So that's what Jason Ingram was speaking about. Speaking of,
Thank you for the question, Mr. Ingram, and thank you for watching. We also have again Miss Gail Eulert again. Everybody can cook.
yeah,
So
everybody can cook. That's a
yeah.
fact. So everybody can. You know what? I'm gonna use what she said and break this down. Right? Everybody can cook. That is absolutely correct. The problem, if we have a lot of chefs in the kitchen, we have to have a plan. Because if everybody just go in the kitchen and start cooking, we're going to be over top of each other, using doubling up on ingredients. It's going to be chaos. So the problem with most chefs is agreeing that this particular chef is going to give all of the chefs a playbook and let's run the play. So
Mhm.
just because I can chef, that don't mean I can bake chicken the best. I don't season chicken the best. But guess what? I'm gonna prepare it because you are the best chicken preparer. You know how to cook the chicken the best. But so what I'm gonna do is prepare the onions and the seasoning and the size for you, right?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be
Mhm.
arguing and debating about who cooked the chicken. let, let, let me help you cook this chicken. Let me clean the dishes. Let me clean off the counter. Let me throw away the scraps. Everybody has to have a place. And when it's your turn
Yes.
to be the lead chef for your recipe to be what's on the menu, that's when everybody switches roles again and make sure that your recipe is completely and done the best way possible. So yes,
Right.
everybody can cook.
I love that concept, but instead of the that using the cook scenario, you have to go old school. Is that there's too many chiefs and no Indians?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's it's simple and plain. You,
Yeah.
I used to use the football analogy for team cooperative economics because a football
Right.
team is cooperative economics.
Yes.
You understand? There's 11
Yes.
positions. There's three teams on one team: special teams, offense, and defense. And then there's
Hmm.
11 positions on each one of those teams. And those 11 positions are individual, unique skill sets and
Exactly.
positions.
Yes.
So, and without you doing your job on that field, your team doesn't have a best chance of winning. So that means 33 people in 33 positions have to all do their job correctly in order for us to win the championship over
Exactly.
and over again. So
So, what problem were you trying to solve when you built this company?
I was trying to help transition the everyday person from the traditional form of finance to the new world of finance, from the stock exchange to the blockchain. So I was trying to create a buffer to make it easier for people because we know people don't like to learn. We know people would rather pay someone else to do it for them. So I wanted to create and have this system in place for you already. You know, Chuck E. Cheese, the Chuck E. Cheese theory.
Yes.
Remember we talked about it. When you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you put your dollar into the machine. It kicks you out
Hmm.
some credits or some tokens representing the value
Yeah.
you put in the machine, and then you're going to take those and spend it right there in the Chuck E. Cheese community. So they already solved the problem for you as a customer coming there. All right. So they want you to feel like you're in the world of Chuck E. Cheese, and to make a real simple adjustment, they made you exchange your real world medium of
The
exchange
real world dollar for them for those tokens.
for those tokens. Now,
Hmm.
it's a great experience, but why would they do that? What does that do for them? Because to me, that would be extra overhead to invest in all of those tokens, right? It costs to create those tokens and create that machine that you go to. So why would they spend all of that? Why would they do that? Well, because for one, yes, they wanted to create a great experience for you, but two, on the backside of Chuck E. Cheese, they just have on record that you spent $100,000 on $100,000 worth of their tokens, which now Chuck E. Cheese can go get a credit line on because the asset has value in the financial world. You can't go to Walmart with it because it's only valuable within Chuck E. Cheese. But Chuck E. Cheese can show that their assets are valuable.
That is true. Look, let me these Miss Gabriel is burning up this chat.
I'm
Um,
loving her right now.
let's see. Here she says she shared this twice because prior to that there was one that said 100%. Then she says totem pole change of command. As is when you was talking about cooking in the kitchen and breaking down the positions.
Mhm.
And this last thing she just put in here is she's developed a guide to teach elementary kids crypto.
Yes,
Oh,
that's awesome, and I would love to connect with Miss Gillett about that because that's something I was thinking about wanting to do. I have a book called From the Block to the Blockchain, and that was for for us and for the people from like where I'm from, like people that that's from the streets and really don't really understand it. I put it in a lot of street lingo, and I made it to where it was friendly for those who come from the streets of hustling and those who come from the hip hop community and things of that nature. So from the block to the blockchain, right now it's only on the website of Productive Sphere, but other than that, oh, let me see. Other than that, yeah, I would love to build further with Miss Gilliard because apparently she's in this space.
yes. This is
Apparently she's
this
in
Chuck
this
E.
space.
Cheese sells nostalgia.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
street coin
Street
for
coffee
street
for street.
cred.
Oh man, that's hilarious because
Um,
that's a great idea. That is a great idea.
so can you tell us how does productive fear differ from traditional business models?
How does it differ? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For one, it's a hybrid blockchain network. You don't have many of those. You don't have those at all. So what we're doing is we're taking your business, which our target is small and medium sized businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And we are marketers there because all of the Fortune 500 companies are already on the Bitcoin blockchain, and then some of the large and the medium size are already integrating and moving that way. So ours is the medium size and smaller market, and for those guys, what we are able to do is put them in a space where they're able to accept cryptocurrency now for payments, but their funding is private. We're able to give your company value once you buy into our system. We're able to give you value. So what I mean by that is I can once you're coming to our network, your business can probably only be worth $200,000. That's what your annual reports say. But if I believe in your business or one of my Bitcoin blockchain advisors have put you through the system and they've talked and consulted with you, by the time it gets to me, I'm able to say, okay, based off of what they told me and the information that I have, let's put $1 million into their wallet for their business. So now you're going to have a wallet address with $1 million of assets in there. So now your business is worth $1 million. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we do
Mm-hmm.
differently. Yeah, you don't have a traditional business that does that. By us being a hybrid blockchain network, we are able to do that. So
So, what does productive ecosystems mean in your world?
cooperative economics, growth, community, um, change, uplifting, building, um, family, unity.
So it covers the whole gambit.
It covers the whole gambit. It's because it's all about cooperative work. It's all about everybody working together, right, within a network or a system that that forces and allows you to work together. And awareness, thank you, Tyler. Yes, awareness. Um,
Mhm.
because we don't have many that's actually giving you the knowledge and the information. I actually stopped for like 3 or 4 years, and that's another story of why. Like I've been quiet for the last few years because I was dealing with high people in higher places that felt like I shouldn't be giving this information out, and that felt like I shouldn't be sharing this information or doing what I was doing for the people. All right, because
Really?
yeah, that's I've been battling that for the last few years, and so I was quiet and wouldn't say anything. You like right now, you don't see me on my Facebook or Instagram, really talking the way I was talking before. Um, and I was talking with so much confidence and aggression, and because it was important for me to get this information out. It was important for me to let people who didn't know that, yo guys, we're in a financial reset. Hey guys, not when we're in the financial reset and this dollar crashes, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
What do you know? Do you know what to do, and do you know where to go? And then you need to know who to go to. So that's why we exist. So they can have a place to go to. And we're gonna put you where you need to be based off of where you're at.
So, what has been your biggest entrepreneur lesson so far?
My biggest entrepreneur lesson,
Hmm.
that's a good question. Well, lesson that I've learned or lesson that I would give.
Say that one more time.
A lesson that I have learned or a lesson that I would give.
No, the lessons that to you so far.
Oh, okay. To stop chasing the carrot, stop chasing the rabbit and just pick the carrots. All right. And what I mean by stop chasing the rabbit and just pick the carrots, I can just pick the carrots and the rabbit's gonna come to me. So do everything that I need. Make sure you cover everything. Okay. And then what you're ultimately striving for it'll be handed to you. It'll just walk right to you because you're prepared for it. So they say success is where preparation and what hard work meets, preparation and something meets. I don't remember that how that phase go, but stop chasing rabbits.
Um. So, what is the hardest part of building something the world has never seen before?
The hardest thing of building something that the world has never seen before,
Mhm.
people believing in you.
So, do you believe that in building such an ecosystem that it's most likely a game changer, a world changer, that's a fear from someone else? Is that pretty much the premise?
People are always afraid of things that they don't understand. And also people don't like change. Yeah. And then it's hard to explain something. Hold on, am I there? Did I freeze, guys?
Yes. Yes. You're here.
So, because someone keeps trying to call me. Still, for build the systems that I built, we keep talking about productive sphere, all right, but we also know about the other projects and what I'm doing that no one has seen, right? And no one is doing. And in that, it was actually convincing somebody that I knew what I was talking about because they have nowhere to reference what I'm doing for them to understand that.
Mhm. So how do you stay grounded while building
Hello?
at such a large scale?
I don't hear you. Hold on. Hold on. I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so I'll just ask you, how do you stay grounded while building at such a large scale?
Because I've committed 100%, and not only did I commit 100%, there I do have a team of people who support and believe in me. I have children. I have a lot of children who've watched me on this journey, who've watched me go through everything that I went through to even get to this point, and they believe in me. And I'm afraid for not just people from the communities I come from, but all people in this guy keeps gracious. I am so I am so determined to help out people because I know what's coming, and what's coming is sad, right? From 1929, we had the Great Depression. They can talk about 2008 being a depression time and the stock market crash. That was nothing. But 1929 to 1934, we're going to see that again, right? Because people already don't have money. People are already struggling. People already don't understand finance. So when the system crashes, people are going to freak out. And then when once they understand that their money is no longer valued or mean anything, what they're going to be running like everywhere, and they're going to be running into traps. There's going to be people waiting for them to take whatever last bit that you have because they know you don't know what to do and where to go. They know you don't have no information on it. That is when the scamming and the schemes will be at an all-time high. If you have a wallet on your phone, don't tell nobody what you got because they're gonna beat you up and take your phone. And they kidnapped a guy for his wallet passphrase in New York. Did you ever see that on the news? When they kidnapped the guy in New York, had him up in the
No.
apartment, and made him give up his 12-word passphrase, which had millions of Bitcoin in the wallet. So, and that was last year.
Wow. Mhm.
So what's coming, it's crazy. For those who don't understand,
Mm.
go look at all government websites. You can go to the United Nations website and look up, currency. Go to IRS website, look up digital currency and assets. It's going to start giving you a picture that you didn't even realize was there. Everybody's looking at cryptocurrency as an investment or a way to trade. That's the bottom of the totem pole of this whole arena. You want to be start building networks and building businesses on the Bitcoin blockchain. You want to start receiving as much Bitcoin as possible. And this is someone who, Bitcoin doesn't have an institution or employees. So I don't work for Bitcoin. I'm not getting paid to advertise Bitcoin. What I'm telling you is that Bitcoin is the foundation of our monetary and banking system worldwide. And all other cryptocurrencies exist because of and for Bitcoin. They act as a service to extend the life of Bitcoin beyond the 21 million limit that it has. So the most popular current cryptocurrencies that you see, they are a tech company that provides some type of service in the financial world and beyond. So every cryptocurrency exists because of Bitcoin.
Mhm. I got these comments here in the chat from Miss
I,
Gallard.
I can't hear you.
I said, got these comments here in the chat from Miss Gallard. And this one, she says, um, ooh,
I don't know what's going on. I can I hear you now? Can you hear me?
yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes. I've just done these comments. Here is there's that one. She says awareness, and here she says virtual resonance, and people love real testimonials. And she says stay grounded by releasing the echo for the greater good. and she's predicting the year of 2030 as when you talk about the collapse of Bunny. She's predicting 2030.
Now, me, I like to always be prepared, right? So I'm looking at the financial world right now. It's crashing right now. I'm also looking at the giants, BlackRock and Vanguard, the number one, number two asset management companies in the world. They are buying the most Bitcoin. They are buying it. Michael Saylor, he's buying all the Bitcoin. Donald Trump and his sons building all the Bitcoin. These different countries that has adopted Bitcoin. So for me, it's crashing right now. It's very important that our people get on it right now. Don't wait to 2030 of what they're telling you and predicting of when it will crash. You have to get prepared right now and get implemented right now, because that's only 4 years from now. Mind you, Bitcoin came out in 2009 and it was less than $1 to buy in 2009. Now we're at what, 90 some thousand, 70 some thousand. I don't even keep up with the pricing of it no more because I know it's going to continue to go up no matter how many times it drops. I know that the major industries are the ones controlling the market. It's called market making. So the stock market is crashing as we speak. You know how many businesses and corporations have gone out of business? It's a couple of things I want to say, and I know I shouldn't say because I know what I went through a couple of years ago. But all I'm going to say is research Coinbase, where most people are opening their crypto accounts. Just research that and just go around 2019 going into 2020 and find out why did it shut down for the months that it shut down.
Well, can you answer this question for us? This is from Miss Galliard, and I put it there on the screen. She
Well,
says you
you
can't.
can't
She
sell
says you.
crypto and then talk
Yeah.
about the system crashing. Yeah, you're right. If you're talking about the crypto system crashing, you know, you can sell crypto, which I'm not into the business of selling crypto. If you wanted to buy some, I can make sure you do it because we have enough to sell in exchange. But we're not in the business of selling crypto. PTSD. This woman is giving amazing ideas. So, she is. I'm reading her comments right now. But yes, selling crypto, the best way to sell it is explaining the crash of the U.S. dollar. People that don't know finance, and I know you guys do, there's so many forms of money, right? There's so many forms of money before you get to a dollar or a medium of exchange that represents something of value. Your dollar only represents something of value for those who don't know and is going to watch this. The dollar only represents something of value, but the dollar itself is nothing of value. All right. You can write a bond off of a trust. So you can take a trust and put assets in your trust, okay? And then write a bond off of your trust and purchase something, a commercial property, okay? And sell that commercial property and get USD. But you never spent USD on that commercial property. You
Right.
created a financial instrument. Most people don't even realize you can control and create your own financial instruments. You have to be set up properly. That is something else we do at Productive Affairs, set you up, help you be able to create your own financial instruments, become your own independent peer-to-peer bank. So yeah, man, be prepared. That's what I would tell people. And Miss Gellert, I love your ideas.
Here's the next one. They killed Cash App and it's still going.
Yes, yes. We This is some of the things that me and my associates we worry about. For some of the things that we created, we like, ultimately being in these positions, we are scared. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm scared. I've been scared. Like I'm just coming back to where I'm like, I have to do this because my family and everyone who supported me for years, I can't run from it now. That's why when you invited me on the show, it was like perfect timing of what this next phase for me is. I'm about to spread the word. I'm letting people know. And you're the first. I started with you. This is the first show that I've done. Most everybody else want to talk to me about the old music stuff and the street stuff. You know, the ones that's reaching out to me now for different podcasts, they like, yo, Nitty, we want to talk to you about this. I'm like, look, I'm cool. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm honored. But I'm on Frank Newman right now. I'm on team building. I'm not Nitty.
Uh, Here is Jane. He writes, your most defining years ahead of time. Bitcoin and the whole crypto space is set for 2030, but our people move after the fact, never ahead of time. That's OU.
That's
I don't
on
know what
you.
that is. Oh, that's on you. Okay.
Right. That's on you. That's on the people. Like,
Mhm.
because what you think people gonna say? Why nobody told us? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't we always say that too late because we don't pay. Who watches financial news? I know this answer because I never watched it until I got into finance. And when I talk to people now, they tell me what they think and they assume or what they believe. And I don't give a about what anybody thinks, assume, and believe. Talk to me about what you know. If I'm talking to you about something I know that's going to help you and me, I don't want to hear what you think, believe, and assume. Don't debate with me on what you think, assume, and believe. I want you to know because that's how you build, right? Or just shut up and listen or follow some direction. And of course, we can't talk to people like that, but that's how I be wanting to say it. Shut up, listen. you know,
Um, this is from Miss Gaylord. She says you should hook up with fan base. It's black owned.
I didn't even know that, and I thank you for that information. I will follow up on that lead. Thank you,
And she says get black veterans to transfer their retail bonds.
Miss. She knows. I don't
A
know who
whole
that.
lot, don't she?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. I'm very and highly impressed.
Jane is saying by 2030, people will understand the crypto space, but to operate in that space, you need counterparty.
Party.
What does that
Woo!
mean?
Woo! He just dropped a bomb on the people, man. So counterparty
Mhm.
is Bitcoin in a readable form.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So is allowing you to counterparty allows you to build wealth. Counterparty, how can I say it? Like the best way to describe it without being long-winded, I try to use as less words as possible, but sometimes I can't. Counterparty is the smart contract inside of Bitcoin that already exists. So where
Mhm.
Ethereum is a cryptocurrency that has smart contracts for you to operate and execute business, and XRP is the transaction fees. Counterparty is the actual Bitcoin is Bitcoin in readable form. So when people say how is it Bitcoin and you always call it counterparty, well, if you take Bitcoin and you shatter it, you're gonna have a bunch of satoshis. It takes 100 million satoshis to make up one Bitcoin. So when you
Mm.
shatter a Bitcoin, you'll be left with a bunch of satoshis. So what does that mean for people who don't know what I'm talking about? If you had a dollar and you want to change for a dollar, you're gonna get quarters, pennies, nickels, dimes until you add up to a dollar. Okay.
Right.
And that is what satoshis is. So you'll take satoshis now and you can create currency. So off of Bitcoin, you have counterparty, you create your own currency. So that means everybody can create their own currency, but you have to have satoshis. So in order to have satoshis, you have to have a shattered Bitcoin. Well, you're probably not going to have that now because that process was done in 2014. In 2014, they burnt a lot of bitcoins. So a lot of bitcoins got burned, and which means we shattered them. And when they shattered the Bitcoin, it created Satoshis, and certain world leaders and people in positions of power were able to get all of those Satoshis, create currencies representing different governments, different corporations, different movements, and their money are sitting on the DEX right now. And I'm one of those individuals who was blessed to be funded with it, and I can help, like I've been speaking of. I can help businesses, communities. We can build together, but it's a cooperative work. I can't do it by myself just because I have it. Just having it means nothing. If we go back earlier into the interview, we talk about Tom Ford.
And
It has to
active.
move. It has to be active. So
So let me just this right here. As I'm listening to you, and I'm gaining some knowledge here, but I still need to get that information to learn.
yes,
But this is what these are. Here's two suggestions here from your favorite girl.
okay.
She said, "Create
Create.
Obama coin." You know that will burn the roof, right?
Yeah, man.
And
Woo.
PTSD coin.
She that yeah. These are. She needs to do it. You do it, and we'll jump on your team. This is where we talk about cooperative economics. This is your intellectual property, and I believe in it off rip, especially the PTSD coin. You know how many people will buy into that right now?
Exactly. Or the Obama coin.
Yeah. The Obama coin is hilarious. I don't even know what angle she would be going at, but just the fact that she would even think about that is hilarious.
Since we
And
support the
don't
U.S., so direct the perceived value.
correct. We in 2020, the world stopped using the US dollar. It was 40% of you, less than 50% of use. It was actually at 40 in the world because China had pulled away, Russia had pulled away from it, Brazil had pulled away from it, the different countries in Africa had pulled away from it. So the use of it had slowed down. And that's why they came in, was able to create BRICS. Remember when they announced BRICS, the new currency?
Mhm.
It was like $500 to $1 US. So that should have opened people's eyes right there, but it didn't. Uh, so when the use of it becomes less and less, the value of it becomes less and less. We are our own banks now. It's about peer-to-peer banking. You don't need emitter. I can never say that word properly. How do you say it? Emitter.
Intermittent.
Inter, oh my God. Intermediate.
Oh,
Intermediary.
intermediary.
Intermediary. Right. You don't need a third party intermediaries. I don't know. I struggle to say that word. That is my mission for the night. I'm going to practice that word. I can never say it. But that is what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is for, specifically Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the money for the people. It's also the one world government, guys.
And this is from Jane. Says we need a team, not competition.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we've been looking for the whole time, a team. Definitely not competition. I'm reading My President is Black and My Coin is Too. Um, Fear is Fuel. Absolutely. Fear is Fuel. Icebreakers are just icebreakers. I like that. So she's put something about earn shattered Bitcoin through AdSense revenue in a social movement. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a lot of conversations to be had based off of this show today and the comments.
Yes. This is from Jane here.
You said, wow. On the Queen comment for veterans. Oh my God.
Yes, the PTSD coin.
Yeah, that is amazing. I'm gonna tell you why he said, "Oh my God." He's working on a
Mm-hmm.
project that he came up with that kind of is very similar and to what she is speaking of. So I don't want to dive into it because that's it's not my place to. But he's working on it. So that's why he was like, "Wow, oh my God." That means the creative minds think alike, and
Yes.
forward thinkers think alike. So
But yes, sir. Yeah, that you're right. There's definitely a lot to go on from this. Wait a minute. Let me take this off the screen. And And let me just move on here to, can you, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs who feel overlooked or underestimated?
It's so cliche to say never give up, right? But I overlooked. Some if you're being overlooked, that means you're not doing something to stand out. Um, and you what did you say? Underappreciated,
Underestimated.
underestimated. Use that as fuel. Like for those who underestimate me, I use that as fuel. All right, I empower myself with knowledge because knowledge is power. The more I know, the more powerful I am. So that's what I would give you. Like, and arm yourself with all knowledge and data that you can.
What does success look like for productive fear in the next 5 years?
What success looks like:
Mhm.
an ecosystem thriving, different businesses working with each other. When I said it was the nervous system, it's because the nervous system is the highways and byways of the body. All right, it has a unique system it has a unique relationship with each part of the body. So by it having a unique relationship with each part of the body, it's able to send signals from the brain to those unique parts of the body for the whole body to move and operate. As I'm talking right now, like it's already it's already thought of before I said it, right? Then signals had to send signals to my mouth to move to project it.
Right.
That's a cooperative economic That's a cooperative ecosystem.
Mm. So let's delve a little bit deeper into your work here as a blockchain strategist.
Yes.
Um, so can you tell us, when did blockchain first capture your attention?
First captured my attention in 2020, blockchain.
Mhm.
And when it first captured my attention, I wanted to learn what it was, and I learned it was a transparent ledger. Um, I learned that, I started learning that I can tokenize things. You can get married on the blockchain. You can um, buy a house on the blockchain and sell a house on a, you know, that's blockchain was everything when I learned it. Like it's just a faster way to receive data. It's the most secure way of operating, right? It's especially the Bitcoin blockchain. It eliminates a fraud, right? You can't fraud the blockchain. That's one thing about it. You can't fraud a blockchain. You know, so yeah, my 2020 is when I first got into blockchain and learned what blockchain technology does. It allows a business to be independent and be a peer-to-peer distributor, a peer-to-peer banker. It allows you to be independent, all right, and it allows you to be able to store data and never lose it. It's never there, especially if you keep up with your hash, your transaction hash. All right, so and it'll always be there.
So, what misconceptions do people have about blockchain technology?
That it's a scam. That is a fraud. That's the biggest misconceptions. Or they're scared of it for whatever reason. They don't understand really what's the purpose of it because most people don't care about what the stock exchange is unless it's about investing. So the blockchain is nothing but the stock exchange, right? That's just the new place where you would, put tokenized real life assets at on the stock exchange, which where we have all of the bonds and the documents of real life assets, all right, of things of value, and you buy, sell, and exchange it. So the biggest misconception is that it's a scam, or that it's not needed, or that it's just a trend. Those are the biggest misconceptions.
Can you compare that and say it's like another form of risk? And if so, how do you help people to ease them into the point of understanding how that operates?
So when you come to me, which why I'm a blockchain strategist, and most people don't know that I am the founder of Productive Sphere. They're going to learn that here. But as the founder, I am one of the world's first Bitcoin blockchain advisors, which allows me to be a blockchain strategist. So I'm going to figure out all the different ways for your company to earn value and build value utilizing the blockchain and utilizing assets, creating trading programs and systems on the backside of it. I give you a back office or help you set up a back office, um, and teach and just automate the process of trading, tokenizing, the value, um, what we call what you call it, a dispenser, right? Which is the new payment, is the way I'll create payment operating systems for you. So I'll create dispensers for you to accept payment for your services. So if you wanted someone to pay you for every time that they watch this show, and you wanted to charge them $10 to watch the show, they would hit a QR code, right? I'm gonna load your wallet up with the Bitcoin assets, and they're gonna hit a QR code, boop, and they're gonna send Bitcoin to your wallet, and it's gonna automatically send them the allotted amount that's programmed in the dispenser. It's gonna automatically send that to the client, and the customer's going to send it to make payment. So they do an exchange and then they make payment, and it's all automated. So it sounds like a lot as me saying it, but QR code for exchange, QR code for payment. You're going to start walking into businesses, brick and mortar businesses, and they're going to have two QR codes for you. All right. And you're going to do an exchange. And then once you do the exchange, now you make a payment.
Just a matter of a tap.
Just a matter of a tap. And boop, and you paid. You're on your way with whatever the merchandise that you wanted to buy. So yeah, we create new payment processing systems for you, but we're early. I mean, when I tell you we're ahead of the game, we are ahead of the game. And I'm gonna take this time to bring the show and brag a little bit, and have a little bit of confidence. I try to be as humble as possible,
Mhm.
but that's what we do. You know, behind this computer, I have a big whiteboard right now. Behind like this, y'all can't see it. I have a big whiteboard. I'm constantly, you know, constantly working. So,
So why is Bitcoin your foundation instead of other blockchains?
well, because Bitcoin is the alpha and the omega. It's the almighty God of cryptocurrency. Why would I deal with any other entity than God? Right? Why would I go? You can't get around God. You can't get over God. You can't go under or up. Like, so I'm gonna deal with God. And right now in this space, and not just now, but for the hundreds of years to come, forever, how many other years to come, Bitcoin is the foundation. Everybody's gobbling up Bitcoin. The other cryptocurrencies that have value, they're going to have value because they beat people to the punch of a technical service. So Ethereum, which is the second most popular cryptocurrency, it's because it does what we call smart contracts. Because Bitcoin has a limit. So if I want to do business and I don't really have Bitcoin, I can utilize um, Ethereum smart contracts, and I can build on Ethereum. But Ethereum will never be Bitcoin. And Ethereum is based off of Bitcoin.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's there to extend the
Right.
life of Bitcoin. So I want Bitcoin, and I would tell
Mhm.
everybody, go get you Bitcoin. That's why. That is the alpha and omega. You can build all the blockchains you want. You could jump on all of the new trends that you want. But Bitcoin is where you need to be. Or you need to create a Web3 type of business. When you create a Web3 type of business, you're able to receive Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrencies of value. But I'm gonna tell everybody, set your thing up for Bitcoin. Because now you control the terms of how you get paid, people. Bitcoin is what you want
So
to get paid in. So you can leverage it, not exchange it. Don't give up your Bitcoin. Stop cashing out your Bitcoin. Leverage it. Put it in a trust. Contact a broker. See, this is why they need blockchain strategists. Because everybody that's buying crypto, they're holding it in the wallet, waiting for the value to rise and cash out. Stop giving away real assets with value for dollars that they don't care about or is not being used or is being devalued. The dollar is being devalued. I would happily pay you for your Bitcoin right now. I would
Exactly.
happily say, if you tell me you want to cash out your Bitcoin right now and you want cash, let's go. I will happily do it because now you got cash that you're going to spend and it's going to be gone. And I have the asset that's going to constantly grow. Think about it.
So here's a comment from Miss Gaylor. She says, "Earn shattered Bitcoin. I guess that should be through AdSense revenue in a social movement."
She's smart.
And of course, she's my president is black and my coin is too.
I love that line.
And she says, "Share coin." And this is from Jane. The wealthy people in the world don't do anything but manage other people's money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why BlackRock and Vanguard are who they are.
Exactly.
Give a coin.
Give a
Wow.
coin.
Wow. Wow. She's
And
dropping a lot. She's dropping a lot.
yep,
She's dropping a lot.
rejection
Don't share
is
the stuff with everybody. Please. I thank you and appreciate it. And I'm honored that you trust us to share these great ideas because these are great ideas. My mind is already racing. So hopefully we can communicate at some point, however we can. But great
seamless
idea.
automation and success.
Yeah.
And confirmation of the ecosystem. Blockchain reality, different dimension. This don't know who to trust. These are strangers talking about strange concepts.
That's
Well, I think when go ahead.
no, guys, what you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say when she was talking about blockchain reality, different dimension. I think that goes a lot entail with what you were speaking of the different dimensions, as in how functionalities of the ecosystem works. And and just when you think of that, and I think if you kind of like have a real understanding of how that works, it kind of tells me that you can make this, as you say, you control your own money and you can make your own process or whatever have you. This says to me that it just say in creating your own currency. When you create your own currency and you've got that power to actually do that, what that says to me is that as the change goes, that means more of the rise, but as you say, building that team and getting a whole bunch of people on board is what makes it stronger. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here is, and they can promote loyalty discounts with QR codes.
I don't know what to say other than she's so on the money with like almost everything that she's saying. These are great strategies and tactics and information that she's given. Bitcoin has Sell, PayPal, Cash App,
and Karma Pay.
And
wow.
Yes, that is true. Even SoFi. SoFi, if you guys don't know about SoFi, same thing with them. Like, but that's every institution. So I'm gonna give y'all something and a nugget. The system is crashing. It's going to crash, and it's not gonna be later. It's gonna be sooner than later. I can't give you a date or a time. I predict sometime in November. Okay, because that is normally the fourth quarter for banks, right? And then the fourth quarter is all banks' first quarter. So preparing for the next year is what all banks are doing in that fourth quarter. So
no, actually, that's the first quarter. That's the first quarter.
That's the first, correct. The fourth quarter is actually their first quarter. So
yes.
And every year, banks take a break in November, or for some reason, it's the same time every year. So I I predict, this is strictly off of what I believe and think, all right, that in November it will crash, and coming into the new year, everyone will have money, but you're gonna have money from the bank that you're with, and they're gonna make you use their coin and their tokens. And what that does is take complete power away from you, because now they control your money because they have what we call your private key and your 12-word passphrase. That is why we operate a hybrid blockchain network, because we can protect and control all of our private keys and our 12-word passphrase, so that no one can go into our wallet and take it.
So here, what do you think about this here?
Black coin, brown coin, 1099 coin. I think she's a genius. She's already thinking ahead. You're, all of those things are going to be needed. You know, like a 1099 coin, that part was genius. Black coin, brown coin, we could call those like, those would be like more like, you know, the 1099 coin, which that's super genius. Black ground, black coin, brown coin, that's kind of like, you know, it can go either way. You know, I wouldn't consider those, wouldn't be like currencies. That would be just something, a group thing, right? Something, I don't know. However she decides to use it, but I can't see the vision on it yet. But I understand, I overstand. So even though I don't get exactly what her plan is with it, just that she mentioned it is showing me she's thinking in advance. And the 1099 coin was genius. The veteran coin she thought of was genius. What else she had put down here? Um, give
Well, this one is one I think that really stands out most to me.
if system crashes, they're looking for minority bailouts and charity to win in public opinion. Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. When they give out their, when it crashes, they're gonna look like the heroes. When it's been people like me and others who's been shut down, uh, silenced, discredited, that has been trying to save us.
Right,
So now they're gonna look like the heroes, like they're not the ones who crashed it. They create the problem, then provide the solution, and that's
right,
why people steady run to it, because
right.
people choose safety over freedom.
Ooh, but I still need I need to learn a whole lot more about this because as I think about that and just kind of like just listening as to how the functionalities of this, you're
Mhm.
right. She's saying a lot of good things here that makes a lot of sense, but I think she wraps it up right here with this post right here, and that's share a coin for birthdays. That right there, I think for more than anything, makes you go to that coin.
Shit, I, you know, she is on it. That's how I came up with the projects I came up with, such as Bitcoin music and things of that nature.
Right.
Years ago, I went and got the URL. I wound up losing the URL. I got the URL for $20. I tried to get the URL back after going through the battles I was going through, and it's like it's extremely too much. I couldn't afford to buy the URL back. So I had to create a new URL, and that project right there, it changes an industry. It's an industry disruptor.
And Jane says she's cooking.
Yes, she is cooking. Shout out to Jason Ingram again, man. My brother, I love you. I'm glad you tuned in. I hope you caught the beginning when I explained to him what you did for me and how much you mean to me. So nothing but love, my brother. Always, I love you, brother.
As soon as you get digital assets, you get tangible assets. Nitty has the whole blueprint.
Yes, I have. I've never said that openly, like, yo, I have the whole blueprint. And someone else saying it for me, I appreciate them for even saying that for me, because I do, right? And it's very hard to say that to people. It's very hard, especially when they don't even understand or care about it. Like, they don't care. Like, yeah, you got the blueprint, but so what? Like, I don't. For them, they don't see the change that's going on in the world. They're not paying attention to financial news. They're not paying attention to the different countries and the global agenda and the fight. They're not paying attention to that. They just go for what they see on social media.
And so I know that we're probably going to run a little bit long, but we're going to have you back because there was a lot that I didn't get a chance to get to, and so I don't know how your time is, but I hope that we can have you back. But can you, in a closing moment, can you give some words of wisdom and encouragement to our audience? Tell them how to connect with you via your social media, your website, all the good things that you want people to know right now.
All right. So first of all, I'm gonna say this. I would love to be back. And I would love to use this platform to spread and share more knowledge. So I thank you. Secondly, to get in touch with me or find me on social media, it's Frank Newman EL, Frank Newman EL on Instagram, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Frank Newman, and on Facebook it would be Nitty Frank. My old page was Frank Nitty Newman, but now I just operate on Nitty Frank, so you can find me there. You can go to the Productive Sphere website. We have a little where I'm at is a little storm. That's why we had issues. So I don't know if you're able to get there now because I'm working on fixing the service right now. But anyway, you'll be able to go to the website, find that out. But just contact me first, and if you're contacting me through this because of this, I'll give you some time. I'll give you my time, and I look forward to building with any of you. My words of encouragement will be: stop chasing the rabbit and pick the carrots. Commit to whatever you want to do wholeheartedly. Don't wait till tomorrow to do it, because tomorrow is not promised. And if you wait till tomorrow, somebody might have beat you to the punch. So as soon as you think of it, start getting on it. Start working on it. Start putting it in motion. Because if you thought of it, someone else did.
So before I close, I want to tell you that I appreciate you for being here, and I'll definitely talk with you about you coming back. So once I do this closing, especially with this monologue, can you hang around for a few minutes?
Yes.
So I want to thank you all for watching, all of you that are watching on all of our channels, especially the YouTube channels. If you have not yet subscribed and enabled all notifications, I ask if you would please support us by subscribing and enabling all notifications, where you're able to get all the shows live when they first broadcast. You will also be able to go back and watch each and every episode that we've ever recorded on this wonderful channel and gain all of the knowledge, including what Frank is talking about, this financial knowledge that we all need to have going forward. So in closing, tonight's conversation reminds us that the future is not something we wait for. It is something we build. Frank Newman is proof that when vision meets courage and when innovation meets purpose, entire communities can be transformed. He is not just creating platforms, he is creating pathways. He is not just building technology, he's building access. And he is not just imagining a new economic reality, he's engineering it brick by brick, block by block, chain by chain. In a world where so many of our people have been denied ownership, denied opportunity, and denied recognition, Frank's work stands as a reminder that we can build our own systems, our own institutions, and our own futures. This is what empowerment looks like. This is what innovation sounds like. This is what legacy feels like. Thank you, Frank, for your vision, your brilliance, and your commitment to lifting others as you rise. And thank you to our audience for joining us on another powerful episode of America in Black and White. Good night and keep building. Thank you all and have a good evening, and see us again tomorrow evening.